In this video, I'm starting a huge project where I'm basically building Monster High, but in The Sims. So I'm starting a university where I'm decorating one room for each occult type. In this video, we're starting with the fairy. If you play The Sims, you know that you're forced to make a Sim, so this is Rena Renovator, and I just made her to kind of get to go into the world and actually start building on something, because, you know, you kind of have to do that, but let's not dwell on her, let's just go straight to the university and get started. So, obviously, this is not the ideal layout for what I am thinking I want to do, so I'm going to do some cheats here. We need to enable cheats first of all, and then use bb.enable free build to actually be allowed to edit the university. So I'm just going to remove everything here and start building some kind of like fun shape. I want a little balcony here where the occult students can look out over the rest of the university grounds. I chose this university because there's one that's like modern, and then there is this one which is much more old school, and I don't know, I just feel like occult types like ghosts and vampires and stuff, they're usually very, very old when portrayed, so it kind of made sense to me that this university is probably like a few centuries old. Yeah, I'm gonna try to use the university pack as much as I can, but I'm not gonna limit myself to like not using the fairy pack for the fairy's room. That's just stupid. But for the main things here, like the common areas, I'm gonna try and stay university themed. Also, mostly just because I wanted to match the rest of the building. This is the only floor that I can edit, and I don't want it to look stupid, you know. I tried to make like a makeshift double door here because I really liked this door, and it was also one of the only ones that I felt really fit in. So yeah, it's a single door, but I just placed two and then I swapped the direction of one of them. And I found the exact same wallpaper as the usual building has, and then it's time to, yeah, make some rooms. You can see here that I've already made room for 6 different occult types. I was planning on also making just a human room, but I don't know where I would have fit a 6th room because I want that last end there to be the bathroom. But first, before we think about bathrooms and placements, we need some wallpaper, and I was trying to like find a wallpaper that I thought fit in for each of the occult types. So obviously the ghost wallpaper is for the ghost's room, and then the lunar one is for the werewolf, and the fairy forest one is obviously for the fairy, kind of in the name. The crow one is like kind of magical to me, like a witch has a crow and such, so that will be the witch. And then I was really struggling with what to do for the vampire, honestly, but yeah, I was considering mostly some very old looking options or some like just dark colored ones. So yeah, enjoy this sequence of me just looking at every single dark red wallpaper in the damn game. Yeah, honestly, I really like a bunch of these, but I do think I came to the right conclusions there in the end. But I wanted to swap them around a bit more because I felt like it was kind of mismatched how there was one dark wallpaper in the left side. No, that's the right side. I'm bad at left and right, okay? In the right side there was one dark wallpaper where I felt like it would make more sense to match up the like lights and the darks on either side. So yeah, if you hadn't realized it yet, the light blue one, I will change it later, but I was planning on that becoming the mermaid room, but this right here is the werewolf room, and I was considering some options. I wanted the floors to kind of match in the beginning, that was my goal, but I didn't like how the wooden list at the bottom there was white and then we had like a dark wooden floor. It felt kind of odd to me, I don't know. But yeah, that I was trying to make it work with every single room to have the same floor color and floor pattern, which I changed up in the end. And yeah, this is the footage of me finding this wallpaper, which is just, you know, perfect for a mermaid. But we're not focusing on the mermaid in this episode. And here is when I came to the conclusion that this is just not working. When I try to make every single room have the same floor, it has to match better with the actual wallpaper instead. And so I just gave up on that idea completely, and you'll see I ended up changing literally every single one to be unique and fit the wallpaper the best. But yeah, it was actually a lot of trial and error. I imagined this, like, the reason I started with this like main layout, I guess it is, was because I figured, oh yeah, I'll just map it out, it'll be nice and quick, and I'll figure that out in no time. It actually took like a concerning amount of time. I think I spent like half an hour just mapping out where to put each thing. I did not expect that. Okay, maybe I'm just too much of a perfectionist, or maybe I'm slow, or maybe I prefer too much trial and error. I don't know what went wrong, but it took so much longer than I expected it to. But I'm very happy with how it ended up here in the end. So it's fine. Last step to making each room unique is to find the door of these university doors in the color that I like the best for each one. So I looked inside each room and chose the one that fit with each wallpaper the best. And I really actually enjoy how the stickers for each door is different, and how the ghost got the warning do not enter one. I found that pretty nice, because it was a complete like coincidence, but I really like how that ended up working out. It was just the gray door for the gray wallpaper, you know. But it's time to try and match the bottom floors a little bit better with the floor we've got going on here, because honestly, I don't know why, but it looks to me as if the bricks, like I chose the color that is the correct color to match the bricks of the other floors of this building, but I just feel like the one that I'm building with is just slightly more yellowy. And I don't know why, because this is, like, I went through every single swatch. This is the one that's supposed to match. I'm completely sure of it, because it was by far the most similar one, but I just still feel like it's not the exact same. Maybe it's just the light hitting this floor weirdly because it's the top floor and it doesn't have any shadows compared to the others, but I don't know what went wrong there. So yeah, it's really crucial that I try to find windows and doors from this pack, or at least in this style of building, because otherwise these floors are just gonna look completely mismatched, like they should not be on the same building. So I'm gonna try to avoid that. And yeah, I did put a door originally on both sides, but I will be removing one of the doors in favor for a toilet, because I found out when I was trying to save and quit after building the fairy room that you cannot save and quit unless you have every single requirement on the lot. And I knew this because I've done this many times before, but I'd forgotten, so I had to, like, off camera just make a really, really shitty bathroom. But you'll see that in the next episode, don't you worry, you did not miss much. It's not very pretty, I just threw something together, but I will show you in the next episode what I did. But it has, as you can see, finally become the time where I get to actually decorate the room. So of course, step one is to go into the pack that came with fairies, the nearest occult type, and just try to place everything and anything I felt like would fit in. The vibe that I'm going for is very, like, different colors of wood and just an abundance of plants. Like, I almost want this room to feel like it is the forest. You know, to me, fairies are like living in the forest next to trees and leaves and vines and whatnot. So I really wanted that Mother Nature feel in this room. That was basically my inspiration. And also, I think that was what the Sims team meant to happen to the fairies as well, because a lot of the stuff you got in this pack is very, like, organic and kind of fun shapes, and, you know, just a bunch of plants and nature themed decorations. And I don't know, maybe some people will disagree, but I feel like they nailed that. I feel like that is exactly the vibe of a fairy, but I may be wrong, maybe we disagree, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it really fits, so I wanted to make the most of that. And I also want, of course, some things to do for each sim, because I don't know how much space in the middle I'll have that can like properly support each occult type. So I want to give the witch a cauldron and, you know, stuff like that. So I wanted, of course, to also choose a hobby for the fairy. And also, if you go to university, you need a computer. So I just chose this like cottage living typewriter-ish computer because I felt like that was the most fairy looking one. But I chose for the fairy to be kind of an artist, and her hobbies being like painting and drawing and stuff like that. I feel like fairies fit in with the creative stereotypes, you know, like colorful and loving nature and making natural portraits and landscapes and stuff like that. I don't know, I just feel like if a fairy had a hobby, it would probably be something creative, like making flower wreaths or something, just something creative. So yeah, that's what the easel in the corner is about. And in this room, I completely abandoned the we have to stick to the base game and the university pack idea, because that is just not the point of the fairy room, as I also said in the beginning. I want the main area to be very university themed, and then every room to be very occult themed. And I will say, I do not actually have the werewolf pack or the vampire pack. I have the vampire pack on another device, but not on my computer. So those rooms will probably be pretty difficult, but I do have ghosts, mermaids, fairies. What's the last one? Magicians. That was the one that I was missing. But it'll be fine. I didn't really enjoy the vampire pack much when I had that, and the werewolf pack is just... Okay, I hope I don't offend anybody, but it was just really not my style of gameplay. The like going rogue and you can't control your own Sims. I would hate that. And they are aggressive, and just the werewolf form looks kind of like a joke to me. I'm sorry, but it's just really not my style of gameplay. So no, I didn't buy that because packs are kind of expensive. And also, I do want to mention that I do indeed not support the decision EA has made to sell The Sims. I don't want to condone that action by any means with this video. This is not what the video is about. I've played The Sims for literally so many years, and I still really enjoy the game. I love building in the game, and me continuing to make videos about it and playing the game has nothing to do with the ownership of the game, and like nothing to do with EA. Anybody could have made The Sims and I would have enjoyed the game. It has nothing to do with EA specifically, and no, I do not support the trade that they're about to do. But with all the negative and disturbing news aside, here are some fairy lights, because if a fairy room should not have fairy lights, then I just don't know what to do with myself anymore. Like, I feel like that's a complete given. Of course, fairy lights in the fairy room. And also, it really fits into this magical, foresty, natural kind of vibe to just have like little cozy bulbs of light. I feel like they're kind of star-ish when you have this many of them. And also the pack itself came with these branches where the flowers are luminescent, so I enjoyed that as well. And yeah, when you see it from this angle, it is kind of annoying that there's a person there. I did consider going into like live mode and then removing her, but I cannot control this one specific sim, so I'm afraid I would have to like unalive her, like kill her to get her to not be in this room. And also, if I start the game for literally any amount of time, every single person in this university is gonna flock to this room, okay? Because this room is the only room right now that has anything to do. It has a bed, it has hobby stuff like the easel and the computer. Every single sim in this entire lot is gonna come in a horde to this room the moment I unpause the game. So I'm afraid that whatever I do, it's gonna make it worse, and I don't know why that man popped through the wall just then. By the way, I have no idea. But he's here too now. See, this is what I mean. It's gonna be a horde. The moment I do anything, it's gonna be a horde knocking at the door and entering. I just know it, because this is literally the only room with anything going on right now. So trying to get them to exit would most likely resolve in like 4 new people entering and maybe only 1 of them exiting. So yeah, I fear it's just gonna go so much more wrong than it's gonna go good. But of course we need the little fairy house to recharge the fairy abilities and whatnot. And I also added a bunch of gardening stuff, as you can see, around like garden themed stuff, because I felt like it's not really a hobby for fairies. I guess it's kind of like what they do and how they live, but I did want to make it look like they were friends with the plants. At least that's what I attempted to do. If it was successful, that's up to you to decide, but now you know what the inspiration behind it all was. And just changing up some last little colors, making some itty bitty tiny movements around. We are about to be done with this room, actually. I don't think I can cram much more in here, but I kind of like the messy vibe. As I said in the beginning, I am literally going for like a plant filled to the brim room, so like it was what I wanted. Anyways, we are nearing the end here. It's time for the very final detail, which is an alarm clock, because they might need that in college, who knows. Here are the finished results. I really enjoyed this room, and I think it really managed to have all that I wanted it to. I really am satisfied with how I captured that natural and organic and filled with life vibe that I really wanted, and the cluttered vibe that I really wanted. So I am actually so happy with this room, and please let me know in the comments which occult type you want me to make the room for in the next video. And thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. Bye!